Just a reminder, if you can please silence your cell phones. Coach will begin with a brief opening statement, then we'll go to questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Coach, whenever you're ready.
Obviously, really satisfied with the Western Michigan win in a lot of departments. It's fun to finally get a win back in the Dome, to be 1-1 in the Dome with an opportunity to be 2-1. We're playing a very good Holy Cross team. Coach Chesney's in his second year. He's done a really nice job, and those guys are getting better. Hopefully, it'll be an opportunity where we can continue to have the success that we started last week. Question?
Andrew, obviously you said Cisco and Iffy are really close to being back this week. Anything on Williams and Heckle? Feelings on Walker?
Haven't heard from any of those guys. Won't get anything until after they get through with the doctors and stuff on today.
Hopeful for Heckle this week more than the past two, or?
I have to wait and see.
Steven?
What did you see with the offensive line when you went back and rewatched the tape?
Saw a lot, saw some good, saw some bad. We're still continuing to grow. Like I said earlier on record, somewhere between game 4 and 6, we're going to find out if we have the right guys or the wrong guys. I think they got better, but they're not exactly where I want them right now.
What was good and what was bad?
They did some good things on pass protection. They did some good things in the run game. They kind of mixed it up.
Okay. So it's consistency more so than specific?
Always looking to be consistent. Yeah, absolutely.
Coach, a couple weeks ago, you guys were getting ready to play the number 1 team in the country, and now you're getting ready to play Holy Cross. And I know you're going to say, "Oh, we treat every game the same," but to the general fan or the layperson, this looks like a game quite a difference from a couple weeks ago.
I bet you that's what Clemson said 2017 or 2018 when we played them. Okay, so I don't look at it that way. The average fan can look at it any way they'd like. The ball bounces a lot of funny ways. It went on the ground a lot on Saturday, and if it bounced different ways, I could be up here with a different attitude today. You never know what's going to happen in a football game, and then you never know who's going to get hurt in a football game while you're playing it. It's a serious game where the good players are allowed to get tackled and they're allowed to get hurt. So we need to be focused and locked in so we don't make any mistakes, and we can leave this game with the same amount of players that we started it with.
Matt?
You know, you mentioned how proud you were of Tommy bouncing back against Western Michigan. After the Clemson game, did you have to do any sort of soul searching with him, talking with him a little bit more, and the way he responded Saturday? Is that something you saw coming?
You know, I wouldn't say any more soul searching. You spend a lot of time with your starting quarterback if you're involved with the offense, and the more that we spend time together, the better I feel. Okay, he's a very calming soul about him, even though he's excitable because he is young. You know, 18, 19, I don't even know how old he is. He's probably 19 or 20. But he's young at heart, but he's got a very mature side to him. So he's easy to deal with, and I think he's going to continue to get better.
Steven? Is there a chance McKinley ends up redshirting? Is that something you guys have thought about?
Sure. I mean, there's always an opportunity for him to do something like that. I'm not sure I've thought about it. He's a really good player, and we still got a lot of football to play and a lot of ACC football to play.
So what did the doctors tell you last week when you talked to them about McKinley?
They told me to hold on and be patient. They said it was a virtue.
Is this something he could wow. Do you think like he could be ready for NC State, or is this something that you still figure?
I would hope that he would be getting ready somewhere around that time. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Mark? Coach, the offense obviously looked, I think to most of us, looked better. The defense, though, continues to give up a lot of yards and points. Do you think that's going to be the way it's going to go this year? Like you're going to force turnover, but defense that's going to be their kind of game, but they're going to give up that, or do you see them playing better?
Well, I hope that we start to get some more of the defense that we saw early in the year versus Liberty. You never want to say that you want to bend but not break defense. But the one thing that our defense has been outstanding about is getting turnovers. And as long as they keep giving us extra possessions, we're going to have opportunities to win games as long as we're efficient on offense. You know, we have the type of defense that we feel like you can shut people down, and we got to get some of those scores a lot lower than what they've been.
Andrew, with Michael playing a lot on Saturday and we've seen throughout the season, I guess what, besides maybe enrolling early, has allowed him to get those reps as the third linebacker over maybe Lee and some other guys?
You know, he really has a good understanding of what we're trying to do. He's really came in a very specific package, and because of that, he's only got to learn a small portion of what to do. And he's been one of our more physical guys during two-a-days in the spring, and that's why he's had that opportunity. Just like we've talked about with the offensive line and other positions, somewhere between game 4 and 6, we're going to find out if we've got the right guys or not, and then we're either going to stay with the guys we got or we're going to make changes and go with other people.
Did you see that sort of athleticism, physicality, and think like he's a guy we got to get up the field, he's ready, like when you saw it, or was it sort of put him in the game?
No, I think it was something that we say, hey, we got to get this guy in the game. It's something that we want to see what it looks like on the football field because we've seen what it looks like on the practice field.
Matt?
18 straight games with a takeaway dating back to last year. Have you ever seen anything quite like that, or been a part of a defense that's been able to do something like that?
If I can't remember it, and I've got a lot of memories. It's really exciting time, and if you're a fan, to know that that defense is going to go out there and find some kind of way to get the football it's got to be really, really cool. From a guy that's on the offensive side of the ball to have a streak like that is really impressive. I'm glad from an offensive standpoint that we finally stopped our streak with the interceptions part of it, but it'll still be good to go into a game and come out of a game somewhere in the future, hopefully, where we have no turnovers. That would be a really cool thing.
Mark?
You're on fire today, Mark.
Always good to talk about ETN being an NFL guy in college football. When I was Tristan Jackson, I kind of think
Who?
Tristan
Okay.
Jackson and the catches he made, the plays he made in that third quarter Saturday. Can you talk about what kind of special talent he is?
I think we have a really good group of wide receivers. Okay, and I'm telling you, between him and Taj and Sean Riley and Nakeem and even the tight ends, look what Hackett did. I mean, I think we've got a good group of receivers, and that's not counting the backs and what they do for us out the backfield, short routes and screens and stuff like that. To just pull one guy out and say he's the guy, not ready to do that yet. You're going to have to do a lot more, and then you're obviously going to have to do a lot more against better competition. Because when you do it against the best, that means you can do it against anybody.
Brandon?
You mentioned earlier that you saw a lot of good in terms of pass protection from the offensive line this past week. When it comes to picking up things like blitzing schemes, how do you think the running backs played a role in sort of that improvement?
Running backs are everything. Those running backs are a part of it. If those linebackers are coming and they bring enough of them, the line can't block them all. The running backs have got to get the other ones. And the big thing about that is normally those running backs are maybe giving up 10 to 20 pound difference with some of the linebackers, and they've got to be tough. It's a Pinto going against an SUV, and you got to stick your nose in there, and your radiator may not come out right. Okay, but you've got to go in there anyway because you're protecting the quarterback. So those guys they play a big role for us, and our backs, when they target correctly, they do a nice job of blocking people.
What was it kind of like to look back on Antoine during the game? I think he made a couple more plays than I realized watching it live. After kind of all he's been through, like what was the human side of it to see him make those plays and then still stop?
Always excited for Cordy. Cordy has never been the issue on the football field playing. The thing is, Cordy gets banged up a little bit because he's got a big guy's heart and a little guy's body, and he's quicker than you know what, and he's competitive than most people. One of the most competitive people we've ever been around. I told you, my first year here, we moved spring ball up because Cordy's in the indoor doing the old drills from the old staff, and I didn't know who he was. I just walked into the indoor, and I'm like, there's some guy out here practicing at 6 a.m. in the morning, and he's doing all the wrong drills. We don't do any of those drills. And I asked who it was, and they told me, oh, that's Antoine Cordy. And I'm like, we got to move spring ball up. These guys are ready to go, and I don't want them practicing the wrong thing for 2 months, and then we got to correct that and do the right thing. So he's always been aces with me. He's just got to find a way to stay durable, stay on the field.
Do you think he'll be back this season?
You got to talk to the doctors.
Yeah.
Andrew?
Looked like Kendall and Alton, obviously a big first game and then quiet the last 2 weeks, sort of got going a little bit, but I was looking at the stats today and I was surprised that Lakeem's actually leading the team in sacks. Has there been sort of an increased use of pressure and blitzing and maybe just creating different looks without numbers advantage or trying to create numbers advantage, I guess, has that philosophy shifted at all?
I think we blitz a little bit. Anytime that you're blitzing, you're going to create a one-on-one for Alton. You're going to create a one-on-one for Kendall. So if you check the numbers, I think we've been blitzing a little bit more. But that's not to neglect the fact that you can also get coverage sacks. You know, you can go back and play coverage, and you give those guys, those defensive ends and those tackles and those nose tackles a little bit more time to pass rush and put some games and some twists up front that you can get home that way as well. So there's two ways to get a sack. You can either bring extra pressure or you can get coverage sacks off the back end. Very seldom is it that one guy just beats another guy, because if you know who the good guys are, you know who to put the extra protection to, get the extra blocker to keep those guys neutralized. Now, if we ever got, what we need to do is get a little bit more push up the middle, which we're not getting. If we ever start getting that push up the middle where we can reset that pocket, I think we will be even more productive with guys getting the sacks off the edge if we can get the middle part of that pocket pushed back a little bit.
Last two questions, Matt and Steven.
You know, Saturday's win, did that create the positivity this team, so desperately needed after the previous 2 weeks? Do you feel as though, everyone's really optimistic now, given the fact that, things have turned around, the offense has looked better, the defense came up with stops in timely situations? Do you feel like that positivity is back in the building again?
I would hope that we didn't get too down because we had 2 losses. And I would hope that we are not 2 up because we had a win over Western Michigan. There's a process going on here. We've talked about it from day one. We've really had a more difficult road to hoe than what people are giving us credit for, to take a team for 2 games on the road, regardless of who you're playing, and then come home for the quarterback's first dome start in his career versus the #1 team in the country that hadn't lost in 2 years. And now his second start at home was against Western Michigan. I just think that we need to let it happen, be patient, okay, let it come to us, and as these guys grow up, we're going to get better and better.
Last question, Steven.
I wanted to ask about Tommy using his speed against Western Michigan. How much of that is you guys saying, hey, we want you to do that to open things up, and how much of it is him reading what's in front of him?
It's him reading what's in front of him. We don't always call those plays. It depends on structure and who we're playing and stuff like that. You call those plays versus Clemson, you know who was going to be the unblocked guy? Give me the number. You know the number of the guy? There you go. You nailed that. You nailed that. I'm not sure I like that matchup. Okay, I'm not sure I like that matchup. So as a coach, you've got to play some chess sometimes of whether you're going to do some of those things. If we like the matchup, then we'll do that. But I will tell you this, the touchdown run was not designed. That was not designed. That was just him seeing something and taking off, which is really good for us. From a coaching standpoint, the first long run, they could see that was a design play call. When the coaches go back and look at the touchdown run, they'll say, well, this wasn't a design run. This is the quarterback just taking off. And when we do stuff like that, we make us more difficult to defend.
Was that, I don't know what you call it, the option, sweep action, is that something you put in recently, or is that something that's been going in since camp?
We've had it since the first time we've been here.
Okay.
Other people have already taken it from us and used it in many games.
Nice.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.